I think most folks in this room that have worked here for a couple of years know about this award and the meaning and the value. But I don't think there's a lot of folks in here know that this year is different. It's different because, you know, most ceremonies that we come to for the Brian Hintz Award, it's our office that attends. It's our lawyers, it's our investigators, our advocates, our staff. Sometimes we have judges like Judge Sherrill that come. They used to work here. But probably many of you don't know that in this room today are the very people that have touched Nat's life in the last number of years, from our community, from our elected officials, from our faith-based communities. And so I think it's important that we understand that this year is different in a wonderful way. Chief Hahn's here. Rachel Rios from La Familia is here. I see Paris Dye over here from Liberty Towers. I saw Frank Louie from Stockton Boulevard. I don't know if Greg King is here from Always Knocking. Is Greg here? Is Murray? Where's Murray? He's hiding. You know, these, for those in the office, if you don't know their names, you should. And as you grow up in this office, you will. And Eric Guerra, our vice mayor over here. And the fact that these folks are here for this woman speaks volumes about what Kevin says about the conscience of this office. You know, and I don't know if Joe Debs is here, because he'd probably scream at me for not, you know, recognizing him yet, but these are all folks that are the conscience of our community that are here today to recognize this woman. So when I think about the Brian Hintz Award, and for those in the room, like Rachel just asked me, tell me about this award. Most of us know what the award is. But for the community members or the elected officials that don't know, you know, he was a career prosecutor who was killed far too soon. His father, Ham, Steve Grippy just told me, Ham was a prosecutor here, and there was only 9 DAs at the time he was a prosecutor. Tells you how much we've evolved. But on a personal note, I did not work with Brian. He passed away a few years before I was here. But I, like many of you, come to this ceremony every year, every day, and every ceremony that this award is given. We all walk away with the inspiration, the pride of this office. And for me, when I, you know, for 26 years now, Andy reminded me earlier, 26 years we've done this. And for me, and I think for many folks, there's, you know, we walk away with certain thoughts. For me, it's passion, it's purpose, and it's public safety, and I should say public service. Passion, purpose, and public service. So I didn't know Brian, but I would know that every time I walked away. I would hear stories about Brian. We all hear him. Paul tells us a lot of times about when he went to court at the time, and you know, he did the right thing and he dismissed the case right in the middle of trial, if that was the right thing to do. But Brian was about passion, purpose, and public service. And to be honest with you, up until a few years ago, I knew nothing about Natalia Luna personally. I really didn't. I heard stories. Kevin alluded to them. You know, might be a few words like hot-headed, opinionated, and maybe had a few fights with her former bosses, things like that. But I didn't know her at all personally. So when we were trying to decide, you know, who is best suited in our office to lead us in the future when it comes to community and government relations, her name kept popping up. It kept popping up. And so we took, in all honesty, we took a leap of faith because I didn't know her and other people didn't know her. You know, I heard the great stories from Mr. Harold about the gangs, and I went probably a few times and sang with her at the neighborhood center and put a stupid hat on and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't know her. But it didn't take long, honestly, Nat, to find that we found a diamond and that we found another Brian Hintz in her. I mean, it's true, passion, purpose, and public service. And so when I think about Nat and what she's done for our office, particularly in the last few years, you know, I'm a big fan of quotes, but you know, I've come to know her, I've come to love her, I've come to respect her. Maybe a few times when her head bobs, we know we have an argument ready. But there's a couple quotes that I found that, to me, are just perfect for her. And one is from a motivational guy named Terry O'More, like I don't know who the dude is, but, and this is his comment, is the heart of human excellence often begins to beat when you discover a pursuit that absorbs you, frees you, challenges you, or gives you a sense of meaning, joy, or passion. And then there's another one from Harry Truman. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you do not care who gets the credit. I could talk all day, and I won't, but I could talk all day about the incredible work she's done, particularly for us in the last 4 to 5 years. The programs she started, the relationships she's built for our office, with our community. And I'm just going to say it again, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you're not looking for any credit. And anybody that works with her knows that. In fact, what she does most of the time is she gives other people the credit. I'm going to probably be a little biased here, but I don't have any doubt in the world that this is one of the best DA's office, if not the best, in this state. But I'm very positive that we are the best DA's office when it comes to community relations. I can say it because I see it every day. But I also get text messages all the time. I got one last week from another DA from another county. This was it. It's probably a little bit less graphic, but the text was, what the hell is a youth shadow day and how do I get one? Another one was, can you send me your PowerPoint on that iSmart program so I can start one here? And there was one that said, when's your next CSAC court? I'd like to send some prosecutors so they can learn about it. And then there was another one. How do you start that youth academy? Can you share us your agenda? But it's not just to share the work, it's to thank us. And I know this because it's, you know, let's be honest, and Kevin alluded to it, it's been a very difficult time for us. But, you know, Joni left a note on my desk one day, and I think she did it for everybody. Tough times pass, but tough people don't. And there's no better example of that than Natalia Luna. And I know it, not just because of what I see her do, but what the community said when we go to, I call it the rubber chicken dinners or the whatever kinds of community events that we go to. It is the constant thank yous. And it's for the folks that she leads and what we do and how we educate people on, you know, she always says it is who we are and what we do. And so we have set the bar for really the state on showing people who we are and what we do. The fact that there's so many outside community people here today speaks volumes of that conscience that Kevin talks about, but not just for the office, but for this community. And so I want to just take a minute, because I don't need to read my own quotes. I want to give you some examples of what other folks say about her outside this office, so you understand. You're not allowed to retire, but if you chose to retire, the impact it will have. So just bear with me. So Chief Hahn, I have always been impressed with Natalia. Being a prosecutor has never simply been a job. She pours her heart and soul into helping her community. It's been evident in everything she's done. She's made our community better because she truly cares about the community and kept at the center of everything she did. Congratulations on being prosecutor here. Eric Guerra, my vice mayor from the city of Sacramento. Natalia has been a strong partner in the community where she grew up. As a compassionate public servant, she's been a staunch advocate for our youth, has helped redirect those who have started on an unfortunate path towards a better future. Natalia has been a fierce advocate for those being victimized by human trafficking and has helped women end the cycle of violence. She's a believer of diversity and encourages people of color to choose a public safety as a fulfilling career and as always gives back to the community. Greg King, I don't know if Greg's here, always knocking. Her heart, this is really, to me, hits home. Her heart not only pumps for her, but it also pumps life into others on purpose, with a purpose. She gives endlessly without expecting anything in return. She's as solid as they come, and she is the symbol of purity. She will always be my sister. Chris Baker, who's a bishop in town. She tells it like it is. won't let you interrupt her. This is her when she's done. Quote, so now how are you gonna help and what are you gonna do? She will tell me often, okay, you got a problem, I don't care about your problems, just tell me the solution. As he says, I respect her wisdom and her knowledge, and just being real, she's a great asset to the DA's office. Mervin's hiding in the back. Quote, Nat is a rare blend of tough mind and tender heart. She is truly a bridge between the community and the justice system, and her value is immeasurable. Paris died. Natalia cares about student access and makes herself approachable and accessible to the community. If anyone's passion could work themselves out of a job, it would be her. Natalia values positive relationships with the community and is an amazing ally to me and all of Sacramento. Frank Louie from Stockton Boulevard Partnership. She's compassionate, empathy, is a true fighter for those who are less fortunate in our underserved communities. And then Judge Bulwer-Urey, who wasn't able to be here today, says, Natalia is a fierce advocate for our community inside and outside the courtroom. She demonstrates an unrelenting drive to seek justice. In the area of commercially sexually exploited youth, I had the true pleasure of working alongside Nat and our other partners to learn, innovate, and expand how Sacramento serves and supports our vulnerable citizens. Those are just half the story. And I don't know, many of you may know this, but about a week and a half ago, we had a public safety luncheon which we host every year. And this year's theme was Heroes in Humanity. It was, I'm going to be biased again, I think it was a pretty damn good event. But unbeknownst to Nat, we decided, some great advice from folks on her team, that the first person that ever should receive that award is Natalia Luna. Lastly, I noticed that Terry Calvin's here from Cash, League Against Sexual Harm, and I'm just saying with something she said, part of it is clear that Natalia does this work because she cares about our community and wants to support those working on the ground to improve their lives. So Natalia, I don't think there's anyone that's more deserving of this award, and clearly there's no one more than the Brian Hintz Award, so congratulations.